The Show 25 is finally here, and I'm really hyped to start off my new Diamond Dynasty team in a Diamond Dynasty mode that feels a lot different than the last couple of years, and I think for good reasons. But in this video, I want to go over what I would focus on the first week or two that you guys start up your new Diamond Dynasty team, and you guys can kind of use this as a guide to help you get started for the first week or two of Diamond Dynasty. And make sure you do subscribe to the channel and also turn on notifications because we have so many Diamond Dynasty videos on the way that I think is going to be very helpful for a lot of you, especially those of you that go no money spent in Diamond Dynasty. Now, the first thing I want to go over and stress, and this besides the collections is really the most important thing in Diamond Dynasty, and that is the first inning XP reward path. And obviously, this will not only get you a lot of reward cards, packs, and stubs, but obtaining these boss cards early on and as quickly as possible is going to be super, super important this year because these boss cards you're going to be able to sell. So there's an opportunity to get, these cards quickly and to sell them while they're at peak value. And then eventually you can buy them back later at the end of the inning program when their prices drop to their lowest point. But let's jump into all the things I recommend you guys grinding early on in the game. And first of all, I think a lot of people kind of just throw away the starter program. I actually think it's worth it this year. There's 20,000 XP that you get from completing it. And I think it's going to take you like 40-ish minutes to complete. So 20k XP plus gameplay XP for that is definitely worth it in my opinion. But the first program I will start working on though, besides the starter program is, and I recommend this a lot, is the pipeline program because there's so much XP. There's 50k XP in here, plus whatever gameplay XP you get from grinding the missions. Plus there's some good diamonds. And then I have my eye on Roki Sasaki here in the pipeline collection, and he looks just really good. And there's also, Roman Anthony as another, I think he's an 87 overall diamond. Yeah, at 25 cards. He looks really good as well. He can play any outfield spot for you. So I think it's worth it. I think the pipeline cards are really good. And like I said, just a lot of good rewards in there in general. And you might be wondering how you get these pipeline players though. You obviously get some from the program, but you can also get some from here. In the U.S. conquest maps, there's going to be a total of 6 if you complete, the missions in the 3 U.S. conquest maps here. But then also there's 4 more pipeline players in the new mode Diamond Quest here, as you can see on the screen. Then there's just going to be packs that you get some of these other pipeline players in as well. And to grind the pipeline program missions, you can either play the US Conquest maps or the Diamond Quest map to be earning even more players for the pipeline collection, which will also speed up the mission progress for you as you obtain more of these players. Otherwise, the quickest way to get these missions done would probably be to hop into play versus CPU on Rookie and to grind it out that way. But whatever way you prefer, that's really up to you. You can do it other ways too. The Spring Breakout program is also worth doing eventually as well, just because there's so much XP in this program and lots of other players that you can eventually use in collections for more rewards. But like I said, I'm going to put my focus, for me personally, towards the pipeline program so I can get that Roki and Roman Anthony as quickly as I possibly can. But again, once I'm done with that, I will come over to the Spring Breakout and start grinding through that. Compared to previous years, I'm not sure Team Affinity is worth it as much to be putting all your focus and attention to. The diamond cards in here are good, but there's just other ways to be getting cards that are just as good, if not better, while getting other better rewards. But I will say it's not a bad idea to be working on some missions for certain TA paths that you want to complete. Plus, as you grind other programs, you'll always be earning some progress in the Team Affinity paths, even if you don't put your focus on them completely. So you'll be earning, knocking out these missions and earning rewards as you go on through other programs as well. And in previous years, mini seasons was a great mode to be grinding early for tons of repeatable packs, which helps you with live series collections, just to get a lot of stubs in general too. But honestly, the repeatable goals in mini seasons just don't look that good and take significantly longer to complete. So what I would do, or what I'm going to do personally, and what you guys can do too if you want, is just to mess around and grind through some Diamond Quest maps. You're going to get lots of packs this way. You're going to get some of these cards that you need for collections, and it's new, so it's a fresh new mode, which should be a lot of fun to get into and see how that plays. The online modes are certainly worth grinding at some point, but the multiplayer program is something, in my opinion, that you can be a little bit more patient with and you don't need to jump into right away, especially knowing that we only have the first drop for the program. But something to note in here is this Mark Davis reliever card is a really good, lefty early game reliever, and he's early on in the program path. So I would, even if you're not a big online person, getting up to 10 points in this program to get him is going to be worth it, I think, eventually. I know all of us are going to be opening up plenty of packs as we grind through the game, but what you guys want to make sure you're paying attention to are just all of the cards you guys collect, especially these first couple weeks of the game, just because most of these cards are going to be selling for just more than you would think. And when you guys are selling these cards, it's going to be super important to be putting in sell orders. So you're making sure you're maximizing all of the stubs you're getting, but it's just always worth going through your inventory, once a day at the beginning of the game, just to see what you have, what you can sell, and odds are you're gonna have items you don't realize that you can go through and sell just to gain some extra stubs. But don't just go through player cards, the live series ones. Go through other player cards as well. Go through some equipment, some jerseys, some sponsorships, all of those items in your inventory, just because some of the, like I said before, a lot of these cards, first of all, you're not going to know you forget you have, but they're also going to sell for a lot more than you might think on the market, and it's always important to start stacking your stubs early. And I'll have videos coming out soon about good stub methods, but for me, it's always so important to get my stub count up early in the game, so you're able to just be able to work on some of these new collections, such as the Legend and Flashback collections, and as more cards get released, there will be more and more collection rewards coming out, and you'll be able to continue to progress in these collections. So always having a stack of stubs sitting there for you to be able to buy up some cards you need to finish collections is always something I recommend, and having some stubs sitting there for other reasons, like there's, maybe a good stub making opportunity on the market, or you want to buy a new card that comes out, or maybe you want to flip cards to make even more stubs. I just always recommend sitting on a decent little stash of stubs. But those are most of the things I would recommend you guys focus on early game in Diamond Dynasty. Let me know if I missed anything or other suggestions you guys have. But that's going to be it for the video. I do appreciate you guys sticking around through this one and watching. See you guys in the next video. Peace.